So here we are, fourth week, just getting into the thick of things. And so far, we've talked about mindfulness in general, just being present for your life. Then explored the Four Noble Truths about suffering and the cause of suffering and the end of suffering. And last week was the Eightfold Path, just a prescription for our lives that these teachings suggest bring about real harmony and well-being. Tonight we're going to talk about some of the common difficulties that arise while you're doing this, trying to meditate, or trying to live your life as consciously as possible. It's not easy. You'd think, what could be easier than just, okay, sit and know you're breathing? It's really hard, isn't it? This is not some kind of bad joke. It's just the way we're wired up and how the mind works, that we're so caught in the future or the past or our fantasies or stories, and to be present takes some practice. So it helps to see what gets in the way, how we get caught, because the more we can see how we get caught, the more we can not get caught. The more we see there's another way to work with these common difficulties. But they don't have to be problems. They don't have to be some kind of awful occurrence. They're just common to the human experience. In the classical teachings, they are called the 5 hindrances. Now, they're hindrances because when you don't see them, they hinder clarity. But when you do see them, they actually become the richness of waking up, as one great Tibetan master used to call them, manure for enlightenment. It's the yucky stuff in the mind that if you learn how to work with it, it's fertilizer for growth. So I want to go through these 5, and you can see they're also the same principle in working with other difficult mind states. All of these are different mind states or emotions that color our experience. And when they color experience, we don't see clearly. But when we see, oh, that's how experience is being colored, we have a whole different relationship with them. So, the big 5. The first one is the mind state or the emotion of desire, or as we talked about it earlier, attachment to our desires, the wanting mind. Okay, you're sitting here minding your own business, trying to feel your breath, and then all of a sudden you think about somebody you really want to be with. Oh, yeah. Or your next vacation. Oh, yeah, it's going to be so good. And all of a sudden, the present moment doesn't have a whole lot of pizzazz for you. Oh, can't wait till that happens. Or wanting can lead to a much tunnel vision as well. Like there might be a lot of different sounds happening, but you're sitting here and there's one sound that you're waiting for that counts. When is that damn bell going to ring? That kind of wanting. Then nothing else counts. And it's not that wanting or attachment is bad. We all have it. It's part of being human. But it colors our experience and keeps us looking outside of ourselves for well-being and happiness. And as we saw, we've been talking about, because everything is impermanent, because there's no lasting happiness, no matter how good the gratification is, it will, chances are, often, unless you're more aware, tend to reinforce the idea that gratification of desire is where happiness lies. And that means you're looking outside of yourself for wholeness and completion. Even while you are enjoying the moment, when it's a pleasant experience, the wanting can kick in. What if this ends? Or how can I keep it going? And in that, as soon as the mind topples forward to, oh, I don't want this to end, or I want more, we can't enjoy what's here right now. And I share a story of this that illustrates it quite well. It happened to me many years ago when my son Adam, who is now 25, was very young. He was about 2.5 or so. And each spring, there's a retreat down in Southern California, Yucca Valley, where a lot of people come and do a 10-day retreat or so together. And I was teaching down there. I used to go down every spring. And I was with Adam. It was snack time, just the two of us. I'd spend some time with him each day besides the teaching. And I was in the staff dining room, just the two of us. And I had this big bowl of luscious strawberries, which is his favorite food, right? These big organic strawberries, just really ripe. Now, is your mouth watering a bit? Gee, I could go for some strawberries. And there it was, and he was just delighted. Stuffing one into his mouth after another, right? His red juice kind of coming down his face and all. And I wanted to teach him to eat mindfully. You know, like I was trying to teach everybody else. This is kind of naive. I was a, naive dad, a 2.5-year-old. And he didn't want to hear anything about it. We're going to do a little mindful eating in a couple of weeks here. But there he was, it's just stuffing these strawberries down and wanting more. And I was saying, Adam, just taste what's in your mouth. It's so good. And had the bowl a little out of his reach. And there was this one indelible moment that's etched in my mind. This huge strawberry in his mouth as he's going, strawberry! That sums up our predicament. We can't even taste what's here right now because, oh, I want more. So it's not that desire is bad. It's just, if you can't appreciate what's here right now, I'm all for appreciating what's here right now. That's why I teach a course in Awakening Joy. Don't miss the good moments. But if you are caught in attachment, wanting more, or wanting it to stay, whatever, when it just comes and goes, you're setting yourself up for suffering. We say somebody is burning with desire. And it can be painful when you're burning like that. It gets very hot. So, that's the first of these difficulties, the wanting mind. Second is the opposite of the wanting mind, which is aversion, the not wanting mind. I don't want this to be here right now. It's just the flip side of wanting. I don't want my knee to hurt, or my heart to hurt, or for this to be happening when it's happening, or for them to do what they're doing. And now I'm all for taking care of yourself when you can take care of yourself and improve your situation. But as you probably know, that famous serenity prayer, grant me the courage to change the things I can, the serenity to accept the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is seeing if you can't change your experience, if this is how things are and they're not going your way, and there's not much you can do about it, you have two choices. Either wish they were different and be compounding your pain, or somehow come to terms with what's happening here and find some peace within it. The aversive mind has a whole range, a whole spectrum of colors. Just like the wanting mind has a whole spectrum of colors, from mild interest to lust to obsession to, the whole gamut of intensity. And the aversive mind can have, a mild irritation and annoyance to anger, to ill will, to hatred, to aggression and cruelty, But it's the mind that says, I don't like this, I don't want it. And it can either withdraw, and sometimes that's a wise thing to do, but if it's done with contraction and ill will, then that creates some suffering. Or it can strike out. And it's painful, isn't it? When we're caught up in anger and ill will, it really disturbs our